Look, it's the biggest panel we've had yet. We've got 5 people.
We had 5 on the
Maybe.
first one.
Did
we have 5 on the first day?
Oh, we might
Very,
have.
very first
First
day?
draft and chat, we might have. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so we got 5 again for the end. That's cool. So this is the last topical chat, and then we have the wrap up live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern. So please come to that as well.
Winners.
Everyone. That is where we will announce the giveaway winners. At least the ones I've got. Okay, so today's topic is card and cutting machine troubleshooting. So if you have any questions or issues with your machine and or cards in general, put them in the comments and we will be answering them as we see them. Because Lord knows there are a lot of issues with machines. So quickly, let's introduce ourselves. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative. You can see me right there. I am the host of the Card Making with SVG Summit, and I am Christmas crazy, hence my reindeer headband. I started blogging about 10 years ago, and I started as a traditional card maker, and then I transitioned over to designing SVG files. So I primarily design card files. That's what I love. And so the idea of the summit was to sort of bring together people who like design SVGs and make SVGs to show us like some advanced techniques or, you know, ideas to kind of jazz up your cards a little bit more than just the plain, you know, cutting paper together and gluing them. Along with additional traditional card techniques like using inks to, you know, shadow things or embossing folders or that kind of stuff. And so that is what we have been working on for this last 4 days. Had 6 projects each day. Hopefully you have been here and seen them all. Fortunately, today, October 4th, 2025, is the last day of the summit. So you can still go get in if you go to cardmakingwithsvgs.com and sign up, and you'll be able to get to the schedule page to watch the last 6 that are available. All right, so enough about the event. Michelle, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Michelle Price, and I am kind of doing double duty here. I have my own personal brand, which is Bits and Pieces Paper Lab, and also I love to make cards too. So over there, you'll find SVG files for card makers. And then I'm also here for 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. And if you're not familiar with 12 by 12, we sell cardstock, and we have over like 4,500 different colors and textures. We have glitter and sequin glitter and foil and regular and smooth and solid and anything you could ever want, we have. So that is, I'm just a double duty person here today.
So she made 2 presentations, which is a lot of work.
Yes.
We appreciate it. So thanks. No Kelly, oh, look, you got your kitty. Kelly, introduce yourself and your cat.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kelly Rousseau, and this is Fred. He's in a bit of a cuddly mood at the moment. It's like we're in spring, and I know that you guys are in autumn or fall. So it's actually, we have some spring rain at the moment. So he's like in cozy vibes. I'm pretty sure that everybody, or many people can relate. But I have a YouTube channel, and I teach Cricut tutorials and all kinds of fun things with making things with a Cricut. One of my favorite things to do is print and cut. So even Fred is interested in the card. I made this fun print and cut card with foil on it, as well as this heat transfer vinyl HTV foil. I just like teaching Cricut tutorials and helping people to learn how to use their Cricut and not be intimidated with print and cut, because I know just how intimidating it can be, and I like to demystify it a little bit for you guys. And troubleshooting, especially for print and cut, is a favorite topic of mine because I know just how many problems can happen with print and cut. So if you have any print and cut problems or questions, let me know in the chat.
Nice. And I love Fred. He's so cute.
Oh, he's
like hanging on to you, like,
he's just like sleeping on you. Yeah. So
don't let me go.
All right, Catherine, tell us about yourself.
All right, I'm Catherine from Catherine Learns Stuff. I generally craft. I do lots of crafts. I do paper crafts, vinyl, upcycling, woodworking, sewing. I do all crafts. I do alchemy, everything. kind of wherever my heart desires. And I love making cards recently. It's been more of a thing that I do often just because cards are everywhere. And I really like to design cards. I don't like to like use generic cards from readily available sources. I like to design my own cards or see someone's card and design my own and like make it my own sort of design out of something I've seen. I like to do that. So I always like to have these non-generic cards. So that's kind of, I like to do that. So that's a little bit about me. And I do have some machines. So if you've got any general random questions about how to like bypass your machines with certain things, I might be able to help you with that.
Cool. Great. And then of course, Erin Reed, tell us about yourself.
Hello, hello. I'm Erin Reed from Erin Makes. I do all different kinds of content for videos, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all those kind of places. Live, shorts, edited videos, all that fun stuff. I run my own event. I have the Makers Retreat. It's both the shirt that I'm wearing right now. It's both in person and also virtual. So the 2026 one, I'm in the works for getting all the, like the other one just ended. The new one's just about ready, like finding educators and stuff like that for that. And I also help behind the scenes with a lot of these amazing summits. And I do a lot of these wonderful summits as an educator. And we're here just to help out and have some fun hanging out with all of the other creative ladies that are around me. And it's just, it's a blast. It's all kinds of fun.
Yeah, this has been my favorite part. I don't know about anybody else, but and I've had several people send me emails and stuff saying that this was their favorite part too. So yay! They're all so fun. I'm just kidding. All right, so card and cutting machine troubleshooting.
We have a question,
not
not about that, but just about something about giveaways.
Becky, yes, there was a VIP winner this morning. It was Lynn. So it was announced. Nothing new, Becky. I'm sorry.
We didn't miss it. We actually did it on time this morning.
So the 4 winners have already been chosen. They were Penny, Felicia, Alma, and Lynn. I have talked to Felicia and Alma. Lynn, I have not contacted. Penny, I haven't heard from, but she probably just figured. I mean, I gave her a link, so she should be good.
So we do have our first question. It's none of our cards, but hopefully, and I'll read this out loud. I really like W. O'Neill's design. Does anybody know of a workaround around embossing the acetate? I don't have an embosser yet.
Haha, yet.
Yes.
Well, I was sort of thinking, could you, if you have a maker, you could do the debosser if you have that. Or, as we found out from Jamie Matthews, you can use your foil transfer tool to deboss. Now, would it work on acetate with the machine? Maybe. I would probably use more pressure to like create a similar snowflakey design. I mean, you'd have to find the design, and assuming you have a Cricut, but that's a possibility.
I'm defaulting to what I would do if it was not on a machine. So if I didn't have that and I wanted to, like, you could always either do Kelly's item where you can take a stencil if you don't have an embossing folder, and you can use that to emboss it. But if you have an embossing folder that is a similar enough design or that you like it or it would work, then you can always just do it by hand. So, and if you don't have an embossing machine, but you have the stencil, you can always do like put books, stack on books and like jump on top of the books. So,
or if you have a rolling pin, a rolling pin should also work.
A rolling pin.
Oh yeah.
I like that. They just don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, really. Seriously.
So does that card, like, could you just score it? Like use the score tool? I don't remember what the card looks like. Is it
like a snowflakey where she does like the front panel of the card is all clear acetate that she embossed with a snowflakey embossing folder. And then she used pens to like highlight the design.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a matter of like, how do you emboss acetate by hand? I mean, yeah, if you're patient, you could do it with the scoring stylus or something, but you have to be really patient.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could cut an asset like a stencil out of Mylar, and then use the Cuttlebug to run it through, or you could cut the stencil out of like a craft board and use it and leave it on the mat. You leave the negative on the mat and then use your foiling tool or your debossing tip or your scoring stylus to then score around the edge of the lines
Mhm.
of the kind of the negative to create your embossed or debossed design. So that's another option to do. There's lots of different ways to do it, but if you don't have like a Cuttlebug or something like that, or an embossing folder, there are lots and lots of different ways around it. Yeah.
So
And
hopefully
if
that
you
answers.
don't have any of those, it could be a piece of vellum that you could put like a sheet of paper behind to give it the illusion of that. If you don't
Yeah.
have acetate either, pattern cardstock that mimics that, that could also, depending, or, something like that. There's
You could
workarounds. There's always workarounds.
theoretically, like with vellum, if you put, say, like you printed out a snowflakey design on just a piece of copy paper, and then you put vellum on top of it on like a, I don't know, a mouse pad, maybe that might be too soft, because you might just be able, and then just like write over it, like trace the design on the vellum with,
Yeah.
like a pen that's run out of ink, or the scoring stylus or something, to get the vellum to turn white, just in those snowflakey areas. It'd be like
I've
super
done that
easy
on
to look.
I've done that on my Cricut with vellum, where you just like use the scoring tool to draw the design,
Yeah.
like basically score the snowflake design. And on the vellum, because it's so delicate, it will it'll show through. It looks like it's embossed.
Oh yeah, that's even better idea. Yeah, to do it that way, and way easier. So
I was looking for
Let
these.
the machine do
hopefully
the
you've got a
work.
Cricut.
No, I was saying, if you've got
Oh yeah,
Oh yes.
like you could do
Little flower
Cricut with
shaping
like
tools.
a fine one, or the flower shaping tools,
Yeah.
the ball points, and like a mouse pad or something like that. I love it. It's like, Erin's gonna try it. I'm like, no, I'm just finding the tools.
That's what I thought. I was like, ooh.
I could get out some vellum.
If anybody missed the last session, we were like throwing ideas out, and then Erin was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it right now," and then Debbie starts doing it, and Kelly was doing it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so.
We were just on a roll. There you go, Paula. You have those tools, and so now, like, get your mouse pad out, or like you can even, if you've got, any kind of pad that's got a little bit of some flex to it, but an old mouse pad's perfect for that. Even some like foam, like thicker foam, like crafty foam, that would work too. And then just go in and kind of, use and they're snowflakes, like they're supposed to look unique, right?
Yeah.
Have fun with it. There's always a workaround.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah. All right,
Always
I
a
saw another
workaround.
question, I think.
Oh, was there? I was missing it. Oh, here we go.
I've been hoarding items for card making, but no machines. Can I get along with a Joy machine? Do I need a die cutting machine and a Misty? Please help. Well, I mean, it depends. Like, if you want to stamp, a Misty is amazing. And if you wanted to use embossing folders, I mean, an embossing machine would be handy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna do a Joy, I would do. Okay, so here are the Joy series machines. Joy Extra. I'm the Joy person, so
Here, let me get rid
Go
of the
with
little
Joy
thing so you
Extra.
can really see it. How to get here? There.
So
Your name
because
is
the
coming
Joy
up.
Extra, you can see the size difference. Now with the Joy, you can make A2 size cards. So anything that's 4 1/4 inches wide or less, you can make on that. But anything bigger, you can't. I mean, you can do a long mat and do an A2 size card vertically. So it'd be like you cut an 11-inch mat in half, so 4 1/4 by 11, and then fold it in half with a Joy. But like the Joy Extra, you can do 5x7s, 5x5s, 4x4s. I mean, like it's got an 8.5-inch wide cutting width, so it's a little bit better, and it also supports print than cut. And it's only like $50 more if you find it on sale. And Prime Days are coming up in the next couple of days,
Black
so that's
Friday.
when it goes down to $150. So if you were looking for a Joy or a Joy, I mean, I'm always like, when people get, I mean, the Joy is wonderful, but I'm like, just if you can, do the Joy Extra.
Yeah. I when it comes to tools, I'm all about what is your number one thing that you want to do? So if the number one thing that you're going to want to do is to cut things out and to make cards using paper, if you want to dabble into vinyl, if you want to get into that kind of stuff, then start with a Cricut machine, or pick some sort of electronic cutting machine, just in general, whatever brand has spoken to you, because there are some other small brands that are out there. If you're thinking in lines of Cricut, then yeah, go into those two realms. And then if you're like, ooh, I want to branch out, and you've got the funds to do so, or if you've got a birthday coming up, or Christmas coming up, then those are things that you could ask for and like kind of add to your stash as you go along. I do a lot of stamping, and I could not imagine not having a MISTI at this point. I do a lot of die cutting with dies. I couldn't imagine not having a die cutting machine that I could also, and I never really emboss, even though I have the stuff to do it. So that would not be a thing I would venture out to go get, because that's not my go-to. I have other tools that I prefer to use, but everybody does their own version of crafting, which I love.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, like those machines are perfect if you are getting like a first machine. But in the interim, before you get those machines, if you have a couple of stamps and a pair of good scissors, you're golden, because you can use regular kind of cardstock paper or scrapbooking type paper, pattern paper, cut it into unique shapes or just straight lines, geometric shapes, those kinds of things. And if you have a couple of stamps for your sentiments or anything like that, then you are great until you get a machine. So you can use that to kind of tide you over, because stamps can really, really, really go very, very far. Stamp with black ink on white cardstock, you can fussy cut around the sentiment, or you can cut it into a little, banner or something like that. And you can use that to accent the cards with just geometric plain shapes. Like, you don't even need any kind of fancy machines or anything like that. So don't feel like you can't make cards because you don't have a machine yet, because you absolutely can make. I mean, even I think yesterday Catherine was showing us like some of the basic machines or basic tools. You have a trimmer, a scoring stylus, and I can't remember what the other.
A ruler.
A ruler, exactly. And then just with those three things, the world is thine card canvas.
I have a paper trimmer, and I think you can get away without having a ruler if you've got a paper trimmer that's got like the ruler on it. There's
or you can get away without a paper trimmer if you have a ruler and a scissors.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would still go paper trimmer every day.
Me too. Absolutely.
No, I use the ruler because I would use the ruler for like scoring with, right? Because my paper trimmer only cuts. I don't have the option for my very inexpensive paper cutter to score on it. So it's my paper cutter.
I can find a workaround.
So
do you have an indent? Do you have the indent? Like, seriously. So on your paper trimmer,
yeah.
There's an indent. I jump mine out real fast. So on your paper trimmer, do you have?
I do that, Erin.
Where like indent right there?
Yeah.
Here, like it indents.
Yeah.
So you therefore have the ability to score, because you put your paper down. I can find paper real fast. This is I love this because I do this all the time. So when you put your paper in there, if you've got that little bit of a groove, you've already got the measurements on the side here, right? So if I want to score at 4 inches, all you need now is something to make some sort of a scoring mark. So whatever tool you have, and then you just run it along right there. This is the worst tool in the world for it, but there you go. Now I just scored at 4 inches.
Very nice. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. So I don't need to put a different blade in. I just use another tool to do that. So
that's interesting. I've learned so much from you ladies.
I know, these are amazing.
I think too, when you don't have all of the stuff, it actually inspires your creativity a little more. Like it's like what happened with that snowflake discussion. If you don't have the exact embossing folder that's needed, then it just like allows you to get creative. And that's, I think, finding your own style comes when you do things like that, where you just like branch out and try something.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is a good one for, it's like getting a good bone folder. I grabbed the wrong thing, but this would be better with the point. Yeah.
But again, case in point, just because you don't have a bone folder doesn't mean that you can't score the lines. You can, somebody even said there, she uses her fingernail.
I've done that.
Sarah said she uses her fingernail to score.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, if it works, it's amazing.
Well, and you can
Right.
even put like your ruler down over the paper, like as long as you have it in the right spot, and then just bend the paper up from the back while you're holding the ruler down to just get it to fold. So don't even need
Oh,
this.
somebody says to use a butter knife. Perfect.
Yeah,
Butter
butter
knife is
knife.
perfect.
Yeah.
Smart people everywhere. I love it.
Where there's a will, there's a way is the
Yeah.
bottom
Yep.
line, and don't have to have funds be in the way. And there's so many places you don't have to also go buy brand new. Here in Austin, we have what's called the Creative Reuse, and it's a place where you can go and donate your items, first of all, but second of all, you can go and shop, and it's all creative and crafty items, and down to paintbrushes all the way up to machines for decent prices. And all the money that from that place goes, it's a nonprofit that goes to funding different types of local nonprofits entities. They donate the money out to different things. So it's really cool. And I'm sure there's other variations all over the world that are like that.
We have that. Yep.
I've
We
got
have one too.
we've got our libraries actually have maker centers now.
Oh yeah.
So like you can, if you've got a library card, you can just go and make. And our like, I don't know what everyone else's libraries are. The one in my little town, we've got they've got 3D printers, they've got Cricuts, they've got sewing machines, they've got like massive amounts of stuff. And so you just need to rent your time. And I think they've got some rules about like, you know, you've got to use some of their supplies or whatnot. But there is an option to just even trying out different machines and using them, right? So then you've got it for free, basically.
And then you can kind of decide which one you like without having to pay for it first. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. There was a question. It looked like.
Okay,
Aaron.
we have a couple of questions. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going back and looking after I was. Do any of you have the Maker 4? And do you know any, like, is there any kinks with it?
I have it.
I do.
I haven't used it enough to have kinks. So Kelly?
There were kinks in the beginning. Basically what would happen is it would take like, and I'm not even kidding when I tell you the time frame, it would take like 5 minutes for the cut to initiate from when I clicked cut or when I loaded the mat until when it would cut. And then it would kind of randomly pause in between mats and it would just sit there for a while. And I'd be like, okay, you know, do something. But luckily that's been resolved. So that's gone now. Other than that, I haven't actually had any problems with it since then. So it's just wildly faster in cutting on the print and cut and things like that, which is amazing. But I haven't had any other problems with it since then. I think when they first released it, there was maybe a few software updates that they needed to make here and there. But now that those software updates have been like resolved and rolled out, I haven't experienced any other problems since then.
I actually do have one problem with it.
Oh.
And I have this problem occasionally with all my Cricut machines. So I have a Mac, an Apple laptop, and it likes to forget the connection between my Cricut machines. And so that happened to me the other day. Like the Maker 4, it just would not. It was actually in my like Bluetooth settings. Like, so the laptop could see it and the laptop could connect to it, but then it would just drop it and the program would never recognize it. So then I finally had to get out the USB cord and plug it into my laptop, and that was the only way I could use it. But usually like restarting everything fixes that problem, but that time it just would not do it.
That's weird.
That sounds like
I have not had that problem until like the last 6 months. I've started having that problem, but prior to that, I never had that problem. So I don't know what's up.
I've
had that problem occasionally, but when I remove the machine from my computer or device and then reconnect, like re-add the machine over Bluetooth, then that problem goes away. The only other one problem that I thought of while you were speaking, and I don't know if this is just unique to the Maker 4, but if I haven't turned my machine on before connecting to it, like if I'm in the prepare panel and then I click, you know, send like to make, and then it goes to where you choose your material settings. If the machine isn't on before going to that panel, which is for me is like 0.5% of the time that I actually remembered to turn my machine on before I need to go and select it and connect to it. Then it goes like, oh, we can't find your machine. Try again. Like something went wrong. Oh, there's a critical error. You need to restart your machine. I'm like, calm down, Design Space. It just wasn't on. Refresh. And then it's like, oh, okay, everything's fine now.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of critical error 18
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was getting that every time with my 3 to the point where it would never even connect with my main computer that I use. It only would
Oh,
connect
wow.
with my laptop. I even made a video on it because I had to like clear cache, clear cookies, clear everything out, like basically, and like clear out all, like it wiped the computer down to almost where nothing was on there. And then it was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. It was more the computer than the machine. It was weird.
maybe some memory issue, like it takes.
Yeah, it was. Mhm.
That could be because I have a lot. I have to clear off my videos. So
Oh my
I have a
gosh,
whole
me
memory
too.
right
Maybe that's my problem too.
Yeah.
Because I have a full computer too.
all right.
It's
So I stopped-
And
it.
keep everything
I'm
on
gonna
an
try that.
external hard drive. So external hard
Yeah.
drives, I think we spoke about it in one of the
Uh-huh.
earlier sessions. External hard drives are where it's at.
But I have to actually move the stuff from my laptop onto the external hard drive.
Yeah.
fair.
That's why I just use my laptop only because I never save anything to there. So it doesn't have a lot of stuff. I just basically use it to get on the internet, to do stuff when I'm traveling, but everything is like there's nothing saved on the, maybe a few downloads, which I'll just go and clear out, and it works just fine. But yeah, my main computer,
Makes sense.
so
All right.
yep.
Might
What's
solve
that? We
problem.
just
Do you have
troubleshot.
an Apple?
I have an
Which
Apple,
was not
yeah.
the solution
Yeah.
for the 18. It was like when I went in to look to see what it said for you get that code 18, I went below and looked to see what the code 30 thing was and what it suggested to do. And that's what fixed the code 18 error. So it was just dumb luck that I figured it out.
Okay.
There.
You're way smarter and more technical than me. I just go, panic. It's not working. I'm panic.
I'm just like, turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on.
I'll do a lot of swearing in between that too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Luckily, it's never happened to one of my Joy machines, like where it was like it never would reconnect because you don't have a USB cable for those. So,
Yeah.
any other
All right,
questions?
we do. Yeah, we do. I'm just hunting through them all, but here we have a new one.
Oh, this seems like it's good for you, Kelly, maybe. So FYI, taking a long time to print and stopping in the middle is usually a Wi-Fi issue. Okay. And I remember you said a couple of days ago you like having everything on Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, Kelly.
I do. I do not want a printer if I can't connect it to Wi-Fi. So I think that when it comes to that, it might be like it could be a couple of different things. It could potentially be a network issue. Maybe your computer isn't close enough to the printer that the network isn't communicating properly. It could have, if you've tried restarting, both your computer and your printer, that's kind of the first go-to. Like if you've ever seen the IT crowd, the guy who answers the phone, he goes, "Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?" Like that kind of situation. Just turn it off, turn it back on again. Generally, that solves most of your problems. But if it still persists throughout that, then it might be maybe a software issue. If you've tried updating the software for the printer. I mean, I've had my printer now on Wi-Fi for almost 3 years. I've never had that issue. I'm not going to lie. I do not update my software. I'm really bad at updating my software. I'm not going to, I'm lazy. I will keep the software running until there's a problem. And if there's a problem, then I'll update the software. So maybe that might also be a problem for you. I would connect it on a cable. So use the printer cable that you should get. I think you get them with most of the, throwing things off my desk now. You should have this kind of printer cable. It's the same cable that you get for your Cricut to connect your Cricut as well. You can use it for your printer. It's a printer cable. So connect it via the cable. And if that is still causing the problem, then it's more than likely either a computer issue or a printer issue. If that resolves the problem, then it's probably a Wi-Fi issue.
Good to know. All right. I can't connect mine to my printers are crammed together. I can't get to the port. Yeah. Wi-Fi is the only thing I got.
Yeah. Me too. It's Wi-Fi or nothing.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi's the way to go.
Is it common for the maker not to cut all the way through just near the edges of the mat?
That's
No.
a machine problem.
Definitely not. So on your machine, sorry if somebody else wants to just tell me to shut up, please tell me to shut up. But I've had this problem before. So when it comes to the machine, there's a little track that runs underneath, like just over here on the machine. There you'll see there's a little track that runs kind of parallel to where the blade runs itself. That track, if it's not cutting all the way through on the edges, check to see that there's not gunk in that track. So you can take your weeding tool and like very gently, don't kind of overdo this, but with the machine off, just move the housing off to the side and then just clear that track off, maybe with a blunt weeding tool or an alcohol swab or something like that, and just clean that track. Make sure that track is clean, because essentially what that does is it allows the blade to penetrate a little bit further down and create additional pressure to then cut into the material. That's the same thing that we have with the Cameo 3s. That track gets damaged after a while and you actually have to replace it, but you can't replace it on the Crickets.
I could also see that like as the thing is moving back and forth, especially closer towards the edges, like if you do have stuff, it's shoving it to the edge so it can't get there. Like it's blockading it, like a little barrier.
Exactly.
Like you've made yourself a speed bump, and it can't get past it.
Yes, exactly.
The other thing, I've had that exact thing happen, but it was because my machine, like I'd moved my machine and it was kind of like, it wasn't fully on my table, like it was kind of off the edge, and so the machine was not quite centered up. It wasn't even. So make sure that your table is flat and your machine is securely on it, straight.
Interesting.
It wasn't like it was hanging over the edge at all. It was just there was like a little lip on the edge of my desk, and so it was just making the machine slightly tilted. So
it's crazy.
Level surface is important.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could see over time that it could jog itself off if you didn't have a level surface. And then it would be like all of a sudden yours it'd be like on the ground. That would be interesting. What the heck?
Yeah. Would not be good.
Oh my goodness.
Anything else?
Yep, we have another one.
Yay. Quite often have issues cutting light colors within my Maker 3, like white, light yellow, etc.
Interesting.
Is that
I've
fun?
heard it's really interesting because sorry. Go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead,
was just
Michelle.
going to say it's really interesting because the way that paper is made, the darker colors, like usually if you have problems, it's red, black, and dark blue, because those papers require so much dye in them that it almost makes the paper like a little moister. I call it mushy, but the saturation of the dye can make the papers so they cut different. But I have never heard it with light colors. That I don't know why that would be. That's perplexing.
I know that when I'm printing, I'm cutting out, like doing print then cuts. If I've got like a shiny surface on it, I've got the Explorer 2. I have to like close my lid, turn the lights off, make sure it's totally dark, the wind isn't blowing, and then it'll cut fine. But if the
sun's shining right to the light. Stand on one foot.
It's the third day of the third month.
But if my lid is open and there's too much light focusing around, the light sensor underneath goes wonky and it doesn't work. So maybe trying to cut it with like the lid closed. No, I don't have a Maker. I've got an Explorer, but you've also got like a lid that goes this way and this way, right? So maybe just closing one of the lids and seeing if that makes a difference.
And I'm also wondering, like, have you tried different brands of paper? Like, have you tried, is it every white that you're using, or is it, because sometimes like if the paper is low quality, it's harder to get a clean cut through it, to kind of fray as it cuts.
There's some comments from the peanut gallery.
Okay.
Section. That some white papers have a problem cutting. Here's people are saying, I'm hearing people having problems certain brands of white cardstock. Somebody said that her Maker 3 does not like white paper at all. And so somebody said they got a dehumidifier and that has helped.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And then somebody
I mean,
here, the white recollections will no longer cut for me. Not sure if the rag count or humidity. What's a rag count?
It's probably like thread count would be kind of like on sheets. Like it's just I've never heard rag count, but like I can't remember what the actual term is, but it's basically just like quality level, like thread count on sheets. What is the term? I can't remember, but it's definitely like, I mean, obviously I work for 12 by 12 cardstock shop, and I cannot stress enough how much the paper makes a difference. You just have to find a paper that works. And some of those papers are just cheap, and they're made like, especially white core paper. It's got the white core, and then the colors are like pressed onto the top. It's just asking to not cut well because it's layered, and so it will peel and come apart. So yeah, I would just say if you're having that many problems, just try a different brand. We really like, if you like textured, obviously Encore. That's the 12 by 12 cardstock shop in-house brand that is made for cutting. So try Encore if you like textured, or American Crafts. It cuts really well too. For smooth, Lesabo, which we also sell, cuts really great. And then also that Nina Classic Crest cuts really great too. So maybe just try up leveling your paper and see if you get different results.
And you have to think about some of the papers that you might have in your stash that you're pulling out, and granted, not all of it, but some of it was like, I definitely have some paper that came out before there was cutting machines. So, you know, it was not made initially. It was made just to cut with your scissors or with your paper trimmer. It wasn't meant to do all the detailed fussy cutting stuff, you know, or it never was intended for that. Like you said, like the white core papers. So, you know.
But I use Recollections like every day. That's white.
Yeah.
Like that's my test cut paper. And it's like, but I have had people tell me that the quality has gone down. So I mean, I stocked up on a whole bunch of it, like, you know, a year ago. So I haven't gone to like the brand new stuff yet. So it could legitimately be a quality issue. You know, where they just
they switch factories. It could be totally different paper. You know? So
yeah.
Well, people are giving us a heads up about, they're saying this is what AI said. Rag count is the percentage of cotton fibers used to make the paper. That's what AI said. Learn something new. I've never heard that terminology before. I've always heard GSM or how many pounds of paper it is.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard rag count.
I've never heard rag count either. There's another term that's similar to that they use like at the manufacturer level, and I just can't remember it right now. So.
It's the end, you know, we're 4 days in, people. Come on.
Yeah. We're all tired.
You want us to function here? You want us to come up with words that we don't know?
I mean, one thing I would say, just kind of going back to that, is never just, if you're cutting a paper for the first time, never just like put the whole paper down and cut the whole design, because if you ruin it, you've ruined a whole sheet of paper. So whenever I am doing a new piece of paper that I haven't cut that line or maybe that color, you know, if it's like darker color, I always just do little test cuts, little squares in the corners of my paper. And I'll just do like 1/4 inch squares and just see how it cuts. And then I can adjust my pressure, and I'm ruining the corner of my paper instead of the whole thing. So that's all. That's kind of, it makes me sad when people ruin whole sheets of paper.
Yeah. But it is also just paper. So I mean,
I know, but it's paper. We love paper.
But I mean, that's also a great segue into like when you cut something, if you haven't done exactly what Michelle has suggested, which, I mean, disclaimer, you absolutely should, because it's the right way to do it. But if you're lazy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hide behind anything here. Sometimes like you're just like, oh, I know what the cut setting is for this paper. No, I
or
don't.
the mat. The mat screwed you up.
Spoiler
Like, I
alert.
will say that the mat sometimes messes with us.
Yeah, 100%. So then you've cut the whole page. Before you unload the mat, check that it's cut through. And if it hasn't through, then you press play again and it'll run through the same cut. Hopefully in exactly the same spot. I mean, it's never 100% foolproof, but it's better than a poke in the eye with a pointed stick. So it might it might save your paper if you didn't quite test your but, you know.
Oh my god.
Well, that's true for non-Joy series machines, and it's true for Cricut machines.
And non-smart materials.
Can you do that with Silhouette?
Put it in again?
Yes.
Run it through?
Yeah, because you have to manually unload.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. I've done it. But you do have to go back into Silhouette Studio and like say to
Click
like
start
send it again, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like hit. I can't remember what it is.
So
And you can do it
another
with Caesar.
suggestion.
With Caesar, you can hit play again too. So
Oh, cool.
Sometimes it's your blade.
Oh
We
yeah.
always forget. We always blame the machine. We always blame the paper. But sometimes you've been cutting for a long time. It's time for a new blade. They don't last forever.
No,
Yeah.
no,
So-
they last forever. Don't lie, Aaron. They last forever.
Well, I never had any problems with my blade, like on my Maker or the Maker 4, but the Joy series, I have to replace the blade fairly frequently. Now I cut a lot, and I cut every day.
Okay.
So, like I'm an
Okay.
excessive user, but I've never had, and that's how I know when I need a new blade. It's like, stuff like, especially glitter cardstock. It's like when glitter cardstock won't cut on the setting that it normally cuts on, I'm like, okay, time to clean.
So that
time to
would be a good
blade.
question. How do you know when to change your blade? Like, what's your indicator? So for you, it's your glitter cardstock, and it's it's going to work, but it's just not.
Yeah.
Change your blade.
Yeah.
Is it fraying or not pulling? Like how,
It won't like cut all the way
I
through.
cannot talk.
The way because usually medium cardstock with more pressure for me works on my recollections 65-pound 176 GSM card, glitter cardstock. So then if I'm cutting something and it's just like not working, it'll cut part of it but not really all of it, then I'm like, okay. And I do the aluminum foil thing with the blade where you punch it into the aluminum foil to kind of clean it up a lot.
Clean your blades with tin
Yeah,
foil.
that I do that too.
I've never
Alcohol
tried that. Does that
eventually-
really work?
It does
No.
work.
It just cleans
It doesn't.
It just cleans it. Like it'll take off any residue. It doesn't sharpen it or anything.
Yeah.
But it cleans off any like microscopic dust particles or big chunks of paper that might be stuck in there. But yeah, it just cleans
Like
it. It doesn't.
little glitter.
Yeah, and glitter cardstock, you have to clean the blade afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
that's why I prefer to use like an alcohol swab or something like that, because I don't know, it's German carbide steel, so like it's not like we said, it's not going to sharpen it, and I doubt that. I'm going to say aluminium because that's what we say here in South Africa.
Aluminum.
Aluminium. Anyway,
Aluminum.
There is no extra I, but anyway.
there is in South Africa. I think they might actually spell it differently, which is
Really?
wild. Anyway,
Oh wow, okay.
It's like color.
so-
Countries quit using color.
yeah, like I doubt it would scratch the blade or anything, but I'm just like, I'd rather not chance it. So I also have this, oh gosh, I'm throwing things around again. This entire little thingy filled with alcohol swabs.
Yeah.
And I use these for like literally everything. So I just have these on hand at all times. I just use these to clean my blade because I use them for everything.
Smart.
Yeah. Is that Fred? No, that's not Fred.
This is Sam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Sam.
Well done. I'm impressed.
The face is different.
Because Sam has the orange ears, right? But Fred doesn't. Is that
They
right?
both kind of do, but he's got a little bit. His flame point is a little bit darker. He's also
He's
got.
like, "No,
He's
don't
also
stop."
slightly more normal cat look. Fred is more Siamese.
He's got the longer snout.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Nice.
And
More
Fred
cat
is the one
today.
that you can hear. So if ever you hear a cat in my video, 99.9% of the time it's Fred. This one is very quiet.
Oh, okay.
I want to do a shout out to Michelle because maybe you know this trick already, but we did this at the last live. We were testing things and we
Oh,
were
yeah.
wondering if your sequin paper would take sublimation, and it does. Look at this.
What?
This is been,
Sequin glitter
yeah,
paper
Oh my
this is like I
gosh.
sublimated an image onto the sequin paper. Isn't that the coolest thing
I
ever?
wanted to know if anybody had done it and if we
Wow.
could do it. And Aaron's like, I'm going to do it right now.
So sequin paper is different than
That's
glitter paper.
So cool.
So
Well,
this
it's
was
sequin
the image,
glitter.
It's just
and I heat pressed it on
yeah,
there.
the sequin, it's glitter cardstock, but instead of having like tiny little flecks of whatever, it's actually like little hexagon shaped
Okay.
sequins make
Okay.
up the glitter paper.
Never seen that before.
I didn't
Oh,
try it
that's
on glitter, but I tried it.
Really
That's
cool.
cool though, right?
I-
Isn't that the neatest
yeah.
thing?
I've seen it on glitter.
That's
I've never
really
done one. I've done it on glitter vinyl.
Me too. But I wondered about.
But I also really like how it didn't like mattify the paper in any way. Like the paper looked the same before and after in terms of like the gloss.
Yeah, still.
Because I would have expected it to make it completely matte and like dull, but it actually looks fantastic. So if anybody
really
ever wants
cool.
to,
The wheels
I
are
mean,
just going.
I've only ever heard amazing things about Michelle's paper, so I'm not surprised that it came out fantastically. One day when I'm big and I go to the US, I'm gonna buy like a whole bunch and then bring it home with
Yes,
me.
I know. I wish
can't wait.
international shipping was not so expensive, but
And
unfortunately it is.
it's so heavy.
Kelly needs a free. I'm just kidding.
No. I would never.
It's probably
shipping
cheaper for you to
horrific.
fly to the United States than for us
Oh,
to ship.
that's true. Probably
We
seriously.
ship everywhere, but it's just really
Yeah.
expensive.
But
Yeah.
somebody said, I don't know, I think Ruth or Joyce said in the YouTube video, the last one, that like there's printable glitter cardstock.
Mm-hmm.
So then you wouldn't even
Yeah.
need to sublimate an image on it. You could just print the image
Don't
right on
burst my
it.
bubble. Come on.
But that's easier. Not
It's
as
usually
fun, but
limited
easier.
to like white. I mean, it's usually there's like white and silver and gold, I think. I mean, it's pretty limited, the printable stuff. So, yeah.
But I would think
just
like you can't really sublimate on darker colors. It'd be tough.
No, but like
No,
you could
because
on
like just like what you're
shampoo.
thinking about with shirts, which there is a question somebody wanted to know, what is sublimation? So I'll take this one if you
that's a
want.
good
So
point,
sublimation is the act of taking a surface that has a poly coating. So think polyester, or the sequins have a polyester on them, which is why this took it. Or there's like some, you can get coasters, bookmarks, all kinds of fun stuff. And basically it's a process of taking a specialized ink. So whether the ink is coming from a printer that's on a paper, or it's from a pen, or the specialized, that ink is also could be in paint or in ink pads or things like that. And you are heating it and you're transferring that image that you have created from one surface to another. And sublimation, going back into a chemistry standpoint, remember we have our water cycle, how we have gas, solid, liquid. And so normally with ice, you would go from a solid as an ice cube to a liquid to water to gas, and then we would have our clouds, right? So sublimation is going purely from the solid format to gas. You're skipping the liquid. So think dry ice, how you have a solid block of dry ice and it skips directly into, you have the gaseous form. So that's what sublimation does. It's that you're heating it up, and all of those molecules in that sublimation ink want to bond to the polyester, so it transfers over and it stays there. So you can wash it, you can do all the things, but it will not come back off again. It is there because it is permanently bonded to those polyester fibers. So there you go, chemistry lesson 101.
I didn't know any of that. So wow.
That was
Former
a good
science teacher.
you know, like talk with the whole gas and liquid, and very nice, very nice.
There.
Wow.
Ta-da! My kid's actually in chemistry right now, and I keep asking him.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm always like, so what are you doing? He's like, it's this thing with like this SPDF and these little arrows that go up and out, up and down. I'm like, oh, you're doing electron configuration. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's easy. I'm like, that's cool. So for all those nerds out there, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm a very much a nerd. So.
Nothing wrong with that. Anything else? Any other questions?
I have a tip for anybody.
Oh yeah, okay.
Secret tip. Now, this is a little bit outside of the crafting realm, but I often, and I'm going to try pulling this piece out of my Cricut here. It's not going to go because I'm on TV here, but there's this little adapter piece inside your Cricut. This guy here that you put your pens in and your scoring stylus. I break mine all the time, like constantly, and I've given up trying to buy it in Canada because you can't. You can 3D print these. There's a whole bunch of free files, and there is like 1,000 different Cricut adapters that you can 3D print to go into your Cricuts. Now, I know not everyone has a 3D printer, but my library does, for example. But lots of husbands have 3D printers. The files are free, so if you ever break your pieces for your Cricut machines, you can 3D print new ones. That's my tip of the day to anybody. And I was using blue filament. That's why it's blue now.
Nice.
So that's
Kelly's image went away, so that's why she's not in here. I'm not. When she comes back, I'll pull her back on. But
cool.
Not sure what happened.
We lost
That's
Kelly.
cool.
Maybe
That's
she
Actually,
went back to
somebody
her
posted
rage.
that in the YouTube comments. I think, well, about replacing that piece and
Oh,
that
for
it
sure.
breaks all the time
Yeah.
on the Explore series. More was her specific, but I was like, oh,
Also, sorry,
There
I
might
had,
be
I had to go
somebody
to the
in.
loo quickly, so I'm back.
No, it's fine.
But
There might be somebody within Etsy
with
that
the,
also would sell those because they're 3D
yeah,
printing them. You
Yeah.
know.
but also just keep in mind that if you're asking somebody to 3D print them and they're charging you like $40, please give them a selection of 5 fingers and tell them to pick the middle one, because it is an incredibly small print. I have a 3D printer. I know how to use it. I've been using it for years. It is a very, very, very quick print that requires very, very, very little filament.
mm,
So this is something that is, I mean, somebody may say to you, oh, it takes like 2 hours to print. It may, if you're printing it on like the highest resolution, or the technically the lowest line layer item height. But a 2-hour print in terms of 3D printing is kind of the equivalent of cutting a regular square on your Cricut. It is incredibly quick. So if somebody's charging you an astronomical amount to print just that little thing, tell them to go and fly a kite.
Yeah. So,
Because
yeah,
know,
it's quick.
Yes, they shouldn't be
and
charging you.
I print them off like
$30.
they're going out of style because I go through them all the time. But
Yeah.
if you are looking for free 3D files, I don't know exactly where this one is located, but if you go to a site called printables.com, or if you go to thingiverse.com, those are the websites that are the majority of the universe of free printable files. They've got, you can buy, they still have some things that you can buy, but almost everything is free at those sites. The Cricut pieces, the adapters, there's a whole bunch of different ones that are for free there. So there, it's, you just have to look. Typically, my keywords when I go on there is I write Cricut, and it'll just spit out all the pieces for me. So, but it's just a little trick that I like, because in Canada I haven't been able to get Cricut to send me that piece, and so I can't use it with, like, you know, you can't use your pen or your scoring sauce without it. So I found it. Someone designed it, and there you go. So
nice.
Yeah. There's also like kind of a search website that you can use called Yeggi, YEGGI. I'll post it in the chat as well. What Yeggi does is it searches Thingiverse, it searches Cults 3D, it searches a lot of the 3D sharing, the 3D file sharing websites, and it's kind of like Google for 3D, for STL or stereolithography files, if you want to get technical. And it kind of collates them all together into one easy searchable place with little pictures and things. It's great.
Somebody said Thingiverse.
yeah, Thingiverse.
Yeah. So Yeggi
I feel like
searches
I'm in a whole
Thingiverse
territory
as
I
well.
know nothing about. This
Yeah.
is all
Oh,
I don't do 3D printing.
There's a lot of websites. The 3D printing universe is really a giving universe. They don't sell, like, there are people that sell stuff like on Etsy and stuff, but most of it, everyone is just sharing for free, right? You break your microwave button, here's a file. You need a new dishwasher button, here you go. Like, half of my house is 3D printed right now. But seriously, right? Because why do I need to buy like a whole new thing when I just need this little itty bitty piece, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the same with my Cricut. I couldn't use half of my Cricut because of it, and I couldn't get that piece, so I 3D printed one. So I'll put these websites in here. I'll get maybe Aaron. I'll try to put them in here quickly if I can. Just let me.
You can also put them on the Facebook group too.
Yeah, and then so
I would also like just to, a small disclaimer / warning when it comes to looking into 3D printing. It's a rabbit hole. There are hundreds upon hundreds of things that you can print for your machines, and there are so many useful things that you can use, like mat extenders or something that'll hold your mat up when you're cutting or anything like that. Then you get like little things where you can put all of your blades and hold all your pens, and just the sheer number of things that you can print is astronomical. So
really cool.
This stuff right here.
Oh, yeah.
Now these are 3D
Aaron's
printed.
got- yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff. You can, it's a whole rabbit hole. I agree with you there, but it's convenient for little things. But don't go buying a 3D printer because you need a little Cricut piece.
yeah, it's the most
Unless that was
complicated
what
piece
like
of,
the final thing. Like you just like that was the one thing. They're like, yep, that's it. I'm getting it because I've been on the fence for a long time. Just so I can
Yeah,
make that Cricut thing.
Yeah, just keep in mind, it's the most complicated piece of technology I have ever owned in my entire life. And the learning curve to operating the 3D printer effectively is quite steep. So if you just keep in mind, it is doable. You can do it, but just keep in mind that I don't want you to get like super overwhelmed if you get a 3D printer and then you like want to print something, because you can tweak absolutely everything. It's both incredible and a little bit daunting at the same time.
I'm a duck
If you're
girl.
just
I
starting
love
out,
ducks.
don't get a
I
3D
love
printer.
She's speaking my duck language right here about printing out 3D printing out
it.
ducks. Yes.
I've seen that people put the little ducks on the Jeep handle.
I printed myself a little cricket cutie and I painted them because I could never get them at cricket. So I printed those off. Those are also available somewhere on the internet for free.
I mean,
I also
have a
printed
duck
one,
right
but
here.
mine keeps losing his feet.
Oh,
I don't know where mine is.
So I could never get them in the boxes, so I just gave up and printed one. So,
I'm a big
troubleshooting.
ducks for cruises. I'm with you, ladies. I'm with you. I'm with you.
yeah.
I've been finding ducks in random places too, not even just related to cruises or with the Jeeps, just at the doctor's office. Somebody left a little duck. So I was like,
funny.
oh, I know.
Michelle, do you have
Like
any
a giant-
tips for cutting the Encore paper? Any problems? Like, I don't know.
No, that paper just cuts amazing. Oh
Okay.
no, my computer's gonna die. Sorry if I disappear randomly. But
Well, with that,
no,
we're getting kind of close to our end.
yeah, we are.
So go ahead.
Done, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Well,
time's
just
about
that-
up.
Yeah, I typically like to brayer my paper onto my mat. I like to move things around so I'm not cutting exactly in that same cricket corner every single time. Yep, brayers. Because if you're cutting so much in that corner, then you've worn out this much of your mat. So I'll move things around so that my mat works better. But the Encore paper, like, you just won't have problems. It's just pretty incredible. In fact, I wish I had a way to share a photo, but I cut out this little wreath yesterday and I was like, did that really? I was like, oh, I don't know. This might be the test. And then it just like cut it like that. So check out Encore textured cardstock if you want textured cardstock that cuts amazing. And we're also coming out with smooth too. So that'll be out in a couple weeks.
And the 12 by 12 cardstock shop project is live today, so you can watch that. And there's a discount on their Encore paper for attendees.
Yes.
So the link is on that page. But I mean, you can also go to cardstock 12 by 12 cardstock.shop and then look for the Encore line. And the code is CardFun12 to get 12% off.
Yes.
So
12% off. Yep.
through November
Yeah.
7th. Yeah.
And
we gotta wrap
happy
it up,
World
guys.
Card Making Day.
Yes.
I don't know, we didn't do
Yes.
that. Happy World
We
Card
talked earlier. Yeah. World card making, yay!
Yay!
Aaron's got to run. So we
I
have to
gotta
wrap up
run.
a little bit early today, guys. But a minute
By 2 minutes.
as opposed to 20 minutes over. All right. So I hope everybody's going to be here for the wrap-up party at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, Kelly, you're probably asleep. But
She's like, I'm out.
5 a.m. No thanks. I love you guys, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, she's going to be rating. That's what she's going to be doing.
Oh yeah, right. That's true.
I know what you're really
Okay,
doing.
so we'll announce all the giveaway winners or the ones I've got at that wrap-up party, and that'll be the end of the summit. I'm kind of sad, but it's been really fun. So
Yes,
have a
but
good
you can
couple
buy
hours.
a VIP ticket and just keep going. It can be a party.
And the
every
fun
day.
And the live
continues.
replays are available forever. I mean, as long as my channel's up, they will be here, so you can watch these too. All right, thanks
Amazing.
everybody.
Thank you so much, Elena, for an amazing summit. I've had so much fun.
Good, I'm
It's
glad.
been
Thank you guys for being a part of it. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
All right, bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.